Once upon a time, in a tiny village nestled within a whispering bamboo forest, there lived a potter named Kaito. He was an introverted soul, known to his fellow villagers for his soft-spoken demeanor. He harbored vast dreams, often seen alone in the solace of his workshop, lost in the world of clay and imagination. Kaito was a master of his craft, his talents kindled by the legacy of his grandfather who had once shaped the most enchanting tea bowls for the emperor's court. The admiration in the villagers' eyes as they spoke of his grandfather's feats stirred a longing in Kaito's heart. However, in the solitude of his workshop, Kaito would often gaze at his grandfather's flawless masterpieces, stirring a relentless pursuit of perfection that kept him awake night after night working. Each minor flaw, invisible to others, was to him a glaring failure that weighed upon his spirit. His life took an unexpected turn when he received an order from the emperor himself, a request for a unique tea set for an upcoming ceremony. Euphoria swept the village as the news spread, the cheers echoing through the hills. Yet for Kaito, each cheer was a piercing reminder of the monumental task that lay before him. Each smiling face mirrored the dread of failing his grandfather's legacy, and every word of encouragement amplified the haunting possibility of shattering the villagers' towering expectations. Mornings turned into evenings as Kaito toiled in the relentless rhythm of the workshop. His hands wrestled with the clay as if trying to wring out perfection from it. The clay seemed to rebel against his frantic quest for perfection, stubbornly retaining small irregularities. A roar of disappointment escaped his lips, and in a fury of frustration he crushed the form he'd so painstakingly crafted. His eyes, normally sparkling with ambition, now echoed the dull gray of the approaching storm outside his workshop. The village wise man, Master Isamu, observed Kaito's struggle from afar. One evening, under the pale glow of the moon, he decided to intervene. As Kaito was about to destroy yet another creation, Master Isamu gently stopped him. "Kaito," he said, a soft murmur in the evening quiet, "you have such skill. What troubles you so to make you angry at your own creations?" His words felt like the cooling touch of a spring breeze on a sun-baked earth. Kaito looked at the master, stress lines etched deeply around his eyes. He swallowed hard, his voice barely a whisper. "I see errors in my work, Master. I fear they won't be good enough for the Emperor." Master Isamu leaned closer. "Kaito," he began, a wistful tone enveloping his words, "have you ever sat under the vast sky and gazed at the full moon? Its face is scarred by craters, yet we find it beautiful. It's in the imperfections, the so-called blemishes, where true beauty lies. Could the same not be said for your creations?" Kaito stood silent, a storm of thoughts churning within him. For the first time, he pondered embracing flaws rather than fighting them. Overwhelmed, he retreated to his workshop, where he sat amidst the ruins of his rejected pieces, the seed of Master Isamu's words beginning to sprout in his heart. The following day, Kaito returned to his work with renewed vigor. No longer did he wrestle with the clay. Instead, his hands moved over it with a tender uncertainty, like a leaf navigating the currents of a slow-moving stream. With each stroke, he was rewriting his own definition of art. And gradually, as if a curtain was lifting, he began to see how the imperfections lent character to his pieces, making them uniquely his. Days morphed into weeks as Kaito immersed himself in his work. His approach transformed. Each new day brought with it a deeper understanding, a stronger bond with his art, and a piece he'd long been missing. The day of the ceremony dawned, bringing with it a heaviness in the air and a tangible tension that rippled through the kingdom, as if every citizen were collectively holding their breath in anticipation. As the emperor, known far and wide for his high standards, lifted the first piece of the tea set, a hush fell over the court. His discerning eyes, which had seen countless works of the highest caliber, roved over the set, taking in every detail. A moment passed, then another, until finally a slow smile spread across his face. "Never have I seen such a set that blends the rawness of nature with the touch of human hands," he declared, his voice echoing across the silent court. His words were a sweet song to Kaito's ears, igniting a warm glow of satisfaction within him. Kaito returned to his village, his heart no longer a battlefield of perfection and flaws, but a tranquil oasis where each imperfection swam freely. His transformation stirred a palpable change within the village, inspiring even the most skeptical among them. Master Isamu watched as Kaito molded clay one serene afternoon, his hands moving with the grace of a ballet dancer. He was overjoyed to see the transformation in Kaito, not just in his work but in his demeanor. He approached Kaito and asked, "How do you feel, Kaito?" Kaito paused, a smile forming on his face as he looked at the master. "I feel free, lighter somehow," Kaito replied, his voice serene and steady. "It's as if I've been carrying a heavy weight and it's just gone." Master Isamu nodded, his eyes twinkling. "When we embrace the imperfections within us, we liberate ourselves from the shackles of fear and doubt. You've discovered this truth, Kaito." Seasons flowed into years, and while Kaito's skills blossomed, he remained rooted just like the bamboo in the nearby forest. He continued to mold clay in the quiet of his workshop, every piece a testament to his transformation. And so Kaito's tale became a beacon of hope and inspiration, not only for the people of his village or artisans, but for anyone grappling with their own doubts. It spoke to the young and the old, the dreamers and the doers, painting a picture of a world where flaws were not hidden but celebrated. As the moonlight poured over the village, the tale of Kaito the potter lingered, much like the fragrant tea in the emperor's cup.